Push that thing where it goes red, but sometimes it's still red. I don't know what the problem is. I've got,
And now it's solid.
it's in the settings, yeah.
So, yeah, so now it's on. Now it's off. So right now it's solid.
Okay.
If it rings, it's your fault.
Yeah, it is, yeah, yes, sir.
Okay, at this time, we would like to call the planning commission meeting to order. Like to welcome each person here. First item of business will be the minutes of our last meeting. Has everyone had a chance to review these minutes? Any addition or corrections?
Make a motion to approve.
Okay, we have a motion to approve and dismiss with reading. Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay. The next item of business, we'll move right into the final plat. This is Todd Hutchins. This is the one I think you're all familiar with. We'll give you just a minute to get seated here.
Thank you.
No problem. You're right on time. This will be the final plat on Todd's on Main Street, Locust, and West End. Just make sure. Jim and I can share this.
We've already looked at it.
We're pretty familiar with it, I think.
Lynn Street. Hillside right there. It goes up there on Western Avenue.
And they're
House right there.
Right here, I think. Well, there's a house
Yeah,
actually
that
right
there,
there.
it's right
yeah.
there.
Todd, have there been any changes on this since the
No.
last review?
There, I think they spotted the water line a little better.
Okay.
And I think it comes over just a little bit more than what we originally thought. But it's accurate on the plat.
Okay. Sean, do you have any comments on this?
No, so with this, the only other thing was just making that note on the driveway entrance there on lot 7, that's been corrected on this final plan, so. That was part of the recommendation approval for the preliminary.
Does any board members have any questions on this? I think it meets all the requirements and everything as far as lot sizes and utilities and things of that.
Is this the one we had the letter, or we had a,
No, it's not.
this, okay.
How deep is that water line going out of that alley? Just out of curiosity.
It's gonna have to be deep. I mean, I think it's like a 6 or 8 inch,
Okay.
so we don't wanna be on it. We don't wanna wake up one morning with a bidet.
Well, that land's been sitting there a long time.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it would take a developer to use it. I mean, it's just the average person couldn't.
It has some challenges to it.
Some rocky parts on it too, isn't it?
It has rocky and soft, and there's a little bit of everything on it.
Lot 4 looks a little bitty. Well, it's not. Oh, I see, I'm looking at it wrong.
Do we have any more comments on the plat?
Well, hang on a minute, one more. Is that 9 point, okay, yeah. Okay, I think I'm good.
Do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the plat as presented.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any more discussion? There being none, we'll call for the vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, motion carries. Thank you, Tom.
Thank you very much.
Let you gather these up. Okay, our next, our next item of business will be a rezone request, and this is from R1 to R6. And this is actually on Rosewood Lane. Um, Do we have anyone here to present this?
So I'm requesting for rezoning from R1 to R6 on this parcel on Rosewood Lane that is pulled up here on the TV. Looking to split that into 2 lots. All the requirements per R6 would be met. The square foot requirements are there. Side setbacks are there. I think that the minimum cost for 15, there actually should be over 20 on each one.
What's the road frontage on that track?
Roughly 178 feet. And then at the building line is 166 feet.
Okay.
So roughly at the building side on each one would be 83
It would
foot
make
wide.
the 80 foot, fine.
Mhm.
Okay.
And just to clarify on that too, the current setbacks in R6 for side yard is 10. We do have that amendment coming up after this presentation, to change that to 15, based on the last one, so.
So how big would each lot be?
Each lot will be a little over 10,000 square foot. That would be almost 10,600 and some odd square feet each.
We did have a letter on this one from a neighbor, I think on Sunset though.
Yes.
Is that correct?
And I have actually another one that we just received yesterday, so there's 2 on this.
Okay, I don't think it would affect the taxes any. I don't see it could.
When I look at all the properties around, especially the ones directly, if you look at the property right in front of that, the property in between those 2 houses, if you measure it out right there on property data, is roughly 33 foot apart on the ones that's right in front of the lot there. The ones that connect to the lot, right down here, parcel number 31.00 and 31.02, those are less than 40 foot also when they're measured out. So the ones that I intend to build, the plan is gonna be roughly 40 foot wide. So that would leave, like I said, somewhere in the neighborhood of 23 foot on each side of the property. And they would be further apart than what's already there. And then Rosewood Lane, I've been over there several times, trying to mock everything up and make sure everything would work the way I wanted it to. There's hardly any traffic on that road. Unless you live over around in that area, I was over there for well over an hour this past week, and maybe four cars went down
Yeah.
Rosewood.
I would say that would have been 2 lots possibly in the development, if that one side does narrow down a little bit, but,
Were letters sent to the neighbors?
Yes.
I mean, the only issue for me is that it's R1 all the way around. You know, what do you do? I know that R6 is is pretty close to the same, but I guess,
I guess we need to decide, is R6 for a specific area or for a whole area? You know, if you was developing the whole area and it was R6.
right, and this is kind of a spot.
That's when I kind of visualized it more. But this would almost make 2 lots in R1. I mean, as far as the frontage and things like that. The lot size would not, though, the square footage would.
It's almost, he's 1,100 instead of 15.
Yeah, that, you could conceivably get a variance in R1 and maybe still do 2 lots. You know, I don't know. It'd be a pretty good size variance.
The house I plan to build is gonna be identical to what's right around there. They're
Yeah.
gonna be brick, single family, 3-bedroom, 2-bath homes. You're welcome to look at this floor plan that I've got. that I plan to put on.
Well, I'm sure they'll fit fine, because you've got the width to do it.
So they would sit side by side
They would?
facing the road,
Yes, ma'am, with a garage.
and then the back goes back into that triangle point.
There's not any water problem or anything, there aren't any drainage.
No, no, there's not.
46.
Yeah, Sean, for his comments.
Yes, Sean, what's your,
Yeah, so this does be no requirements for R six, as far as traffic. You can see now it's going to be up a little bit. But when I've been over there hasn't been a lot of traffic increase either. The separation would be the same, 15-foot side yard setback. It's gonna be single family residence built on the two lots that this was approved. So it's not gonna change the neighborhood. R six, it's the lot size is what's the main difference between that and the other one. The setbacks, all that stuff will be the same, the uses are very similar. R six is actually just a little bit more restrictive than R one on some uses.
I don't think it would affect the traffic, one more house, so one or two would affect the traffic. I guess it's just, do we want to really start, it's not spot zoning in the, but in the sense it is of the R6 and the R1, when everything else is R1.
If you wanna look at that, everything else is R one, it's not, would not meet legal definition or classification of the spot zoning.
I don't, why doesn't it? I know you've got.
So spot zoning, there's no set definition, this is what spot zoning is, or this is what spot zoning is not. The way the courts have looked at it is if you're singling out a parcel for a different classification, so a different classification would be, you're taking it to commercial, you're taking it to industrial, you're taking it to something that would be much higher, in uses and impacts than what's existing. R6 is single-family residential, it's just a little bit smaller lot than R1. And so by that, it's not going to meet spot zoning. Because there's cases too, you can even rezone to, like, we don't have it in our zoning code, but a lot of others do. You have a neighborhood business where you could rezone a property that would go to neighborhood business. And even though that's going to business, it's not spot zoning because it's beneficial to the neighbors. So with this, the other part of spot zoning is the individual applicant would be gaining with this, but it would be detrimental to everybody else in the area. That's the general rule of thumb from the court rulings with spot zoning.
The difference between R1 and R6 is R6 allows for recreational areas and like parks and things also.
I think it says that.
It does with certain requirements, but the lot sizes have to be met, and that's, I don't remember the exact acre on that, but like the fire and police station's gotta be half an acre, public utilities gotta be, the public parks and rec facilities, there's acreage requirement and other requirements that have to be met, parking, those things of those natures.
I don't think that would even be a factor on this.
No.
And
So if
And then
these,
R one allows for parking lots if it's adjacent to the social property versus R six.
so if he were trying to change it to commercial, that's spot zoning, and this is not because it's of a similar. In law school, this would have been spot zoning, I think, but, you seem very knowledgeable about this. You know, it always makes me a little uncomfortable to do this in a R1, because I think R1 should be protected, because I think the residents have paid for that. But, you know, I get it. It looks good. It's a hard one for me.
I think this would develop an area that's sat there all these years, it's not been used. Two houses, if I lived there, it wouldn't bother me. I mean, if I lived across the street, that's just my opinion. You know, in this particular case,
Have there been situations where we've allowed special approval to keep it as R1 with a smaller lot size?
That would be far trickier, I don't know if that could be.
Probably not to
I
this.
don't think
No,
so.
not
We-
to this
we
extent.
haven't
I
done
mean,
much with
yeah.
R1,
No,
changing
we've really
R1.
protected
Yeah.
R1, I mean.
I know. I know. And I,
With this, you're talking almost,
There-
you're talking 9,100 square foot lot.
I think what you need to consider is all the road frontage. If you got 186 foot road frontage, that's quite a bit of road frontage.
yeah, I just
And
worry.
ours is actually a little bit wider, it's building lot line, it's 80 versus 75 for residential.
Yeah, I just wanna be careful that we don't set a precedent for that. Because the trend is now that people are buying in these lots that have sat. And we want to develop them, and R6 is a good way to do it, but R6 does make me nervous. Because if you're surrounded by R1, no, it's,
Well, that's why you guys are here,
I
to
know.
to make this
I know.
decision.
It's always hard for me. This is not these are not easy chairs.
Well, I have to be careful, because being the builder and developer, you know, I like to do what you're doing, but y'all make the decision, you know, I'm not going to.
Sean, on those lots, there's two that are near the triangle portion, the smallest width. What's the distance between the houses on,
These two,
the next two down?
these two here?
What kind of distance? Because that's where I see that there's not gonna be an effect to the density. It looks like we're gonna have a similar density of housing.
Right at 30 or something like.
It's close, they're close, houses are close throughout.
Those ones are a little bit longer, about 40.
How far apart do you think your houses will be?
There should be 46 feet, because
Okay.
I'm gonna put them right in the center, so it should be 23 foot on each side. So in between each house, there will be a total of 46 foot.
Okay. So it would not be a change to the character of the neighborhood?
No, sir. It should be more, that's what I was trying to point out earlier. I've got the measurements here. If you go right across the street, that one, where they separate right there, if you go off the back corner, the front corner of that house, there's right at 30 foot of those two, you know, where those two are. And then right across the street, parcel 701 and 27, right there, those are less than 40. I mean, everything around it, with the exception of the one corner lot right here that Sean just measured, is less than 40 foot.
And there's sufficient sewer hookups and everything?
Yes, sir. I talked to Heath Collins, and all that's there.
No water problems.
No,
And this doesn't matter because it has no bearing on this, but I'm just curious, when you're building these, is it gonna be like a regular house with a roof that does this? There's these things popping up with the roofs that are slanted, that, like a barndominium type?
no, this is
Roofs.
gonna be a regular ranch style looking home
Okay.
that's gonna match pretty much what everything else is over there.
Just a full gable type.
That's
house.
correct.
It's full cable.
Yeah.
Good.
I can show you a picture of that if you would like.
No, it has no legal bearing on anything, so.
Sean, let me ask you
Just
this.
curiosity.
Can we consider just on an individual basis, because there may be one that would be more extreme? This is not real extreme in my opinion. but-
Yeah, each rezoning, each variance, each any of that.
So we
is
wouldn't
all
set a
case by case
precedent
basis.
if you
So
approve one.
One or two doesn't set a precedent in
Okay.
the zoning world, because it's always case by case, and will it fit the neighborhood, is it gonna be detrimental, what are the impacts associated with it? So it varies on each one.
I would make a motion to approve the zoning change.
I second. We have a motion and a second. Any more discussion? Now, everyone is aware, we did get 2 letters on this, one about possibly affecting property tax, which I don't see it could.
Zoning has nothing to do with property taxes, the use of your property. If there's a $1 million building here and there's a $10,000 building there, it's not gonna have any effect on
It
that.
only will
$10,000.
affect your property because it's gonna have 2 houses
Yeah.
instead of one. And the other letter was from someone in Sunset, I think.
Concerning about
Park
crowding.
Avenue.
Yeah, the Sunset. 900 Sunset Drive.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure that we did recognize, you know, the letters. Okay, we have a motion and a second. Do we have any more discussion? There being none, we'll call for the vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Okay, Sean, the next is the zoning text amendment revision. That's the 10 and the 15. You want to speak on that a little bit?
Yes, this is the R6 that we talked about, the last one came in, and changed that from 10 to 15 feet. Inside the setback, so that it'd be more uniform.
And that's gonna apply to him too.
Yes, this will go in conjunction with that, so the timing would be the same.
Of course, he's going way over,
Yeah,
Yes.
but this would give the
Me too.
legal effect to enforce it.
Mhm.
Yeah,
The last
yeah,
one
we
didn't
can't
quite have
hold
that
him to
yet.
that really legally until, yeah.
okay, I think that would be great to have the 15 on it, since we are changing the front and the depth a little bit. Okay, do we have any staff updates?
No, we got a vote on that one?
We haven't voted yet. Okay, do we have a motion for this?
I'll make a motion that we approve the 15-foot setbacks on the side for the new text amendment.
Okay, we have a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
A second. Any discussion? Call for the vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, now the staff updates.
I don't have anything at this point.
Before you're
Everybody
up.
has been independent state, so.
Well, we appreciate everyone being here. And we need the motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Okay. Motion second. All in favor, say aye. Motion carries. We are adjourned.